Hey gang, Todd here, and this is our final superhero film of the month. Oh, mask is a little down. And it is one of also great historical importance. This is the first costume superhero film made in China. Or more specifically, Hong Kong, when it was still before China took it back over. Produced by the Shaw Brothers, known for their many exciting kung fu extravaganzas. Earlier in the 70s, they had done a collaboration with Hammer, making The Legend of the Seven Golden Vampires, which featured a lot of kung fu vampires, Peter Cushing, and brief appearances of Dracula at the beginning and the end, not played by Christopher Lee, unfortunately. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about Inframan, which was inspired by the popularity in Hong Kong of the Japanese superhero shows Ultraman and Kamen Rider. Two very popular shows that they still have iterations going today. Our film opens with a great deal of destructive footage, cities being destroyed, earthquakes. The Scientific Institute is looking into this when an earthquake at a defunct volcano brings up a strange dragon-based building, and they are notified of the intentions of the entity that controls this.
The disasters you experienced are just small examples of our great power. Either surrender to me or I'll destroy all humans. I've spoken. It's all the warning you're going to get from me. You'll be destroyed.
Professor Chang does some research and finds that Princess Dragon Ma is an ancient entity. It's from the bowels of the earth, and that she and her mutant monsters are nearly indestructible. But he has a plan, and taking volunteer Rema into his lab, he explains.
This is the result of an entire life's work. The Inframan.
I don't understand.
To fight the underground invaders, we need a man with supernatural powers.
Rema is willing to go through the transformation procedure, even though he is warned he will experience the pain greater than any human has ever experienced. But he's made of stern stuff. Fortunately, during the procedure, Princess Dragon Ma sends out one of her monsters, a plant tentacle-based thing who attacks right as the most crucial moment in the experiment.
An attack! It's serious! A huge tentacle monster has broken in! Our power supply's gone! Gone? You have just 1 minute to get it repaired. Rayma's life is depending on it. Yes, sir!
Well, with Raymond now transformed into Inframan, he goes out to battle the major monster and meet the first of many exciting fights. Pretty exciting stuff, huh? Well, while this has been going on, another monster had kidnapped one of the Scientific Institute people, Tu Ming. He's taken to the dragon lair, where he's brainwashed and then returned to the Scientific Institute, where he breaks into the vault where they keep all their most valuable secrets. But unfortunately for him, his espionage is discovered, and we get a motorcycle chase that leads to an area where Dragon Ma Princess has sent one of her monsters, a bug-like creature, and an army of bone men. And they seem to be taking out most of the Scientific Institute people until Inframan arrives. But then another monster arrives. Like how Inframan's suit instantly dried when he came out of the water? That's a little known superhero power there. Anyway, rushing back to the other fight, the bug monster proves he can do the kaiju maneuver, but so can Inframan. Surrounding community probably didn't need that electricity anyways. We then get the gooeyest demise of a monster. Ew. Nasty. Well, with this defeat, the Princess Dragon Ma decides to look over those stolen plans to see if there's a weakness in this Inframan.
That looks promising. Give me a close-up of that hand. It's as I thought. It would be easy to damage his hand.
She sends out Tu Ming and one of her monsters to set a bomb at the Scientific Institute, but that plot is foiled by Inframan. So she decides to go with her second plan, which is to kidnap Professor Chang, but that has another unforeseen difficulty in it. A minor setback, as it were, because the next day, when Professor Chang is finalizing the plans for their all-out attack, he receives a message from Princess Dragonma.
Your daughter cannot answer. She's right here with us.
Oh, if you've harmed her, I'll tear you apart.
She's all right, for the moment at least. Nobody's harmed her. I've had her brought in. Ah!
Devil!
Now, Professor, that's really no way to act. You might see your daughter again if you do as I command.
Feeling he has no choice, Professor Chang agrees, but tells Rayma and the men to go ahead with the planned attack. Well, gives himself over. He's taken to the dragon lair, where Princess Dragonma wants to show what will happen if he doesn't want to cooperate with her. Well, ultimatum. If he doesn't do what she wants, she'll throw his daughter into that pit. And when told that Inframan will stop her, she starts to monologue.
I'll stop him. I can easily. I already know how Inframan gets his power from the sun. And so I intend to blow out clouds into the atmosphere. These clouds will block the sun. His power will run down. He'll get weak. When his power is eliminated, he'll no longer be a threat. And then the Earth will be all mine.
That's funny. I thought Professor Chang said he was powered by a mini nuclear reactor.
To achieve this, a vast network of parts are inserted throughout the living cells. And that's not all. Adrenaline will be injected into him. And then he will be powered by a miniature nuclear reactor.
But never mind. While the rest of the scientific team is beating up on the Bone Man army, Inframan has to take on the two monsters. And we see what happens when the sun gets blocked out.
Helpless. Come on, let's finish him.
Apparently, only his sunbeam was affected by blocking out the sun. Everything else he has works just fine. That seemed kind of pointless, didn't it? Anywho, while the rest of the Scientific Institute fight the Bone Men, Inframan makes his way into the Dragon Lair, where, despite knocking the crap out of all the Bone Men, the inevitable happens.
You fell victim to one of the classic blunders. The most famous is never get involved in a land war in Asia.
Inframan, you're my prisoner, but now I will destroy you. Yes, you'll melt in 6,000 degrees of heat.
Well, the Inframan out of the action now. Princess Dragonma demands Professor Chang make an Inframan loyal to her. When he refuses, she puts him and his daughter into a room, and they're frozen in a block of ice. But Inframan's not down for the count yet. And we get one of our longest, most action-packed sequences. Oh no! Inframan's been frozen solid! But don't worry, gang. Just like Batman, he's got something for just such an emergency. Recharged, he then fights the last of Dragon Princess Ma's monsters, the Slinky Men. Now we get to the final fight. The big boss, as it were. Yes. Princess Dragon Ma decides to fight him in her true form. After using his laser blades to behead Princess Dragon Ma, which he has to do like 5 or 6 times because it keeps regenerating, Inframan finally hits on the proper solution. After freeing Mei Mei and the Professor, it is then a race against time, as we're going to have the classic James Bondian layer explosion. And thus, Hong Kong and the world is safe once again. And Inframan is still alive to do some more adventuring, although they never made a follow-up. This is, over the years, it's become a bit of a cult classic. You can really tell the influence on from Ultraman and Kamen Rider. Anyone who is fans of the Power Rangers would be very familiar with the monsters. It's the same kind of goofy monsters that the Power Rangers always had to fight. And you've got the queen, as it were, or in this case, princess, giving them orders and throwing fits whenever things fail. The movie's a little episodic as they go through a series of plans, and each one failed by Inframan. They then go with another one. And the last 20 minutes is just one long free-for-all of kung fu battles. And anyone that likes action will love that part of the flick. I find it kind of enjoyable. It's kind of juvenile. Although it seems made for kids, there's a lot of swearing in the translations, which kind of amuses me. It's like, Was really? Gonna say that? I thought this was a kid's. And of course, you had that splattery death of the bug monster. Wow. Oh, jeez. And that pop there at the end. Oh. But, kids love gooey things like that. But, yeah, a lot of good action. The humor is more unintentional than anything. Especially the one monster that just yells constantly. In the dub version, he is hilarious because of the voice they give him. It's, I'll take care of it. You know, it's like it's just. And yeah, a lot of interesting special effects, a lot of visual effects of rays and beams and things, and we get a little kaiju action there with a little fight with both of them growing up giant. Wonder if that was an influence on Godzilla vs. Megalon, where Jet Jaguar, the robot, would grow to large size. And yes, I do believe that anyone who has been watching the Mystery Science Theater episodes that were on Netflix, or the new one on their I can't remember the name of it. Well, anyway, their new streaming service episodes. Yes, I believe that this film's Bone Men influenced the look of the Mystery Science Theater skeleton crew. But then again, they were always influenced by flicks like when they had the mole people that would come in and out of episodes back in the earlier seasons on Comedy Central. But yeah, very fun film. And I can't think of a better way to end our salute to superheroes from around the world than with the first Hong Kong superhero, Inframan. Please hit like, share, and subscribe. Sorry, hit the button. And as always, stay after the end credits for my favorite scene.